It's illegal to get a tattoo on your neck. To this day, in South Carolina, the law says that a tattoo artist cannot tattoo another person's head, face, or neck, and that tattooer can be fined up to $2,500 and spend up to a year in jail, or both. And this isn't some leftover law from 100 years ago. It came when South Carolina finally legalized tattooing in 2004. Tattoo shops can't operate within 1,000 feet of a church, school, or playground. And South Carolina has more than 7,000 churches. So you draw 7,000 1,000-foot circles around those circles on a map, and it doesn't leave a whole lot of available property. That doesn't really look like legalization. It looks more like overregulation. And now somebody's challenging both those restrictions in federal court. There are two different kinds of plaintiffs in this new case, Josh and Stephanie McDonald. They're a regular married couple from Fountain Inn near Greenville. They already have tattoos and they both want more work, but the new stuff they want is on their necks. But no licensed South Carolina tattooer can legally do it. And then the second plaintiff is a group called Tiny Zaps. It's a New York company, and they sell small pre-designed tattoos. They have online booking, 30-minute appointments, $100 slots, loyalty cards, and hotel partnerships. It's kind of like a Starbucks model for tiny tattoos. They want to expand into Charleston, including a pop-up inside a downtown hotel, but the 1,000-foot rule blocks it. Pacific Legal Foundation is representing them free of charge. Their argument is tattooing is protected expression under the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects speech and artistic expression. The 14th Amendment applies those protections to state and local governments. When I started tattooing in Texas in 1998, tattooing was still illegal in Oklahoma. New York City had only legalized it a year before, and Massachusetts kept its ban until 2000. These bans didn't necessarily stop tattooing, they often pushed it underground. South Carolina's highest court supported the old view, and State versus White decided in 2002 that South Carolina Supreme Court upheld the state's total tattoo ban. The court said the finished tattoo might communicate something, but the physical act of putting it into the skin was only a process and wasn't protected free speech. This new lawsuit is in federal court, and South Carolina's federal courts are in the 4th Circuit. The major California cases were decided in the 9th Circuit, so they don't automatically control what happens in South Carolina. So the court will be looking at an older South Carolina decision saying tattooing isn't protected speech, alongside newer federal cases saying that it is. The major modern case is Anderson versus the city of Hermosa Beach from 2010. Hermosa Beach completely prohibited tattoo shops. Tattooer Johnny Anderson challenged the ban, and the 9th Circuit ruled that the tattoo, the process of tattooing, and the business of tattooing are all protected by the First Amendment. The court treated tattooing more like a painting or writing. The government can still regulate sanitation and safety, but it can't simply ban an art form. Then came Yvonne versus the city of Oceanside here in San Diego County. Oceanside required tattooers to get a conditional use permit, follow separation buffers, similar to zoning rules used for adult businesses. In Real versus the city of Long Beach, the court said an artist didn't have to spend the money applying for a permit and wait to be denied before challenging a system that allegedly gave city officials too much control over protected expression. And California isn't alone. In Brule versus the city of Key West, the 11th Circuit also ruled that tattooing is protected artistic expression. So the big question is whether the South Carolina Federal Court follows the older state view or finds newer federal reasoning more convincing. These cases might sound distant, but some version of this is probably happening around you right now. Here in San Diego, tattoo shops are historically classified more like adult businesses than ordinary art studios. That effectively kept them out of the gas lamp quarter, where even today, only one shop operates under an exemption. There's some irony in that. Before it became the cleaned up gas lamp, this was the Stingery, San Diego's oldest vice district. Tattooing grew up around the waterfront history, but the law continued treating it like it was part of a vice trade. It isn't only the city of San Diego. Other cities around the county use conditional use permits, separation buffers, and expensive application processes that can still end in denial. I remember my boss trying to find a location, and landlords just didn't want to rent to him anyway. That stigma did a lot of the zoning work without the city having to pass another law. Pacific Legal Foundation previously won a tattoo zoning fight in Redding, California, with that same attorney working on this case. The firm also says it's won 18 of the 20 cases it has argued before the United States Supreme Court. So this may be a tiny tattoo company, but it has some serious heavyweight legal muscle behind it. Tattooing necks and faces thing is kind of a thing that's been self-regulated for years anyway. A lot of tattooers don't do that, so I'm not sure we need a law to take that decision away from us. So should the government decide where an adult can wear artwork on their body? You think tattooing is protected expression? And should a tattoo shop be zoned like an art studio or like a sex shop? Been tattooing since 1998, and all these years, the law still helps decide where I can work and where I can work on your body. Maybe this case will change a little more of that.